Thank you very much, Skimmy and Vandy, for that amazing match. Congratulations to Nomia for picking up the win. But like Skimmy mentioned, it is, of course, a best of three, and Morton's list really took it to him there. So if that's anything to go by, you do not want to move. Be on the edge of your seat. If you're looking at this in the Twitch chat going, hey, I really want to get involved with some Heroes of the Storm, 2.0 is kind of my thing. It's done so much for the game. Shout out to Blizzard and their devs for all the hard work they've put in. You can actually get involved with this. We have the Tuesday night competitions, which is an open ladder. Well, not a ladder, but it's an open competition where you actually can enter and have the chance to qualify for the playoffs, which you're watching tonight. So the top 4 teams that we're currently seeing now, which is Nomia, Morton's List, No Worries, and Trump Sports, they have auto-qualified. So if you're worried about versing these kinds of teams and thinking, oh, wow, they're going to stomp us, you won't have to verse them. That's the beauty of it. That's why we've broken it up, just so the skill gap is not as large. If you haven't done so already, ladies and gentlemen, we are giving away another one of those D.Va bundles thanks to Blizzard ANZ. So !DVA in the chat right now. That's !DVA. So we're going to pass you back over to your casters now for game number 2 of Nomia versus Morton's List. So it's all yours, Skimmy and Vandy.
Well, looks like the call has been made that Moops and the rest of Morton's List want the map pick. Does mean, once again, we do get first choice of hero for Nomia. But it's going to be Towers of Doom, Vandy, which is a interesting map. Another map which can, if we're thinking cheese, have the ability for things like the Abathur, things like even Murky or the Lost Vikings. But even more so, it was a map that's gained a lot of attraction recently just for the sort of controlling elements of having to juggle all those altars at once.
That's right, and I think it's quite refreshing because this is the only one where your core is definitely dictated by the objectives on the map. You can't directly go for it. There's none of that backdooring, none of that happening. It's all about winning that objective and whittling it down. But how you do it, that's up to your picks, it's up to your teamwork. And yeah, as you said, it has gained quite a lot of popularity.
So it'll be interesting to see how these teams decide to draft on through once again, but it's an interesting choice. We saw the draft not really work too in favour of Morton's List, maybe bringing it back to basics. And it comes down to the sort of that argument once again of how teams approach a squad like Nomia. As Kit Fox already mentioned, it seems to be a bit of a theme in ANZ of, we don't want to deal with a team like that because it's going to absolutely crush us. Well, that is the beauty of it, right? These teams are going to be sitting at the top, versing each other, keeping it in-house with one another. But even at the top level, these teams can get quite scared. And I have to see how Morton's List decide to retaliate. This is their map choice. What can they bring to the table?
That's right. Morton's List, they did come with a fresh take on Battlefield of Eternity, not one that I'd seen. It was working for them. They were anticipating the way Nomia sort of work, how their rotations work. Nomia is all about getting that 10 as quickly as possible. Yes, we might have to sacrifice an early objective, so be it. We want to soak, we want to be in lane. And they were actually punishing. They punished Roba for being out there by himself a couple of times. So Morton's List, they have the right idea. We just need to see it executed again and again.
Are we going to see a game of Genji tonight, Vandy? That is the big question. We haven't seen him all night. We've seen him banned away every single game on stream, and for good reasons too. He's so frustrating to deal with, so elusive, and much the same as a Zeratul can be so pesky to try and handle onto. And as I mentioned the word, something happens. That's what the caster curse does. We make actions happen by talking about them.
That's not the caster curse, that's the caster blessing work. Caster curse is when we call something out and the opposite happens. You've got the lesson on tonight, but that Genji is banned out, that Zeratul, as you were harping on about as well, banned out. There are some very, very formidable Zeratul players on the side of Nomia, so it's just saying that we're not going to be playing it, but neither are you guys. We know what he's capable of.
And as a result of banning away Zeratul and Genji, it does this time allow Nubrak to go through for the second time tonight, and Nomia waste no time in picking that one up for themselves. What I'm interested to see, we saw the go for the throat transition into the Curse Bullet, potentially, and you'd have to expect a team like Nomia with their coordination, their level of trust, this time go for the Cocoon.
That's right. It's going to be how they play it out and what they're feeling. Once again, if there's going to be another tank, such as, ETC Diablo, who can also lock down a team quite effectively, perhaps we'll see Locust Swarm again, but type of team where they would want to play it like this. Single out a team member, get them all out of position, and then sort of pick them off.
So Morton's List now with 2 picks of their own, running this one down to the clock. 5 seconds left for them to decide what they want to run and roll with. Greymane and Malfurion have been the most popular recently. They decide to sacrifice that. They're going to go straight on in with the ETC session, feeling very confident from his game earlier on where he landed some huge mosh pits, looking for that sort of MVP moment material once again. And Malfurion just so good. Why would you pass up on him? As you mentioned before with the MVP screen, moops with some impeccable cleanses. Run it down with the basics, stick to what you know, and hopefully that can net them a win.
That'll be enough. Yeah, exactly right. And a repeat as well from picks that Nomia showed off that they were enjoying and working quite well with the Greymane and the Uther. Uther really enabling that Greymane, allowing him to excel, get in there. We saw that clutch shield, Divine Shield, come out as well onto John, allowing him to get away with the dirtiest kill ever as well. They're really best buddies.
I had to take a shower after that one. It was pretty filthy to say the least. I mean, when you have that level of trust, and I've even played a game of Greymane with Arcana in Quick Match, and obviously Quick Match being the best gauge for a conversation like this, but you just feel so empowered, like your best friend really does have your back when you're having one of those hard times in life. You got that Divine Shield, then you go, wow, Heroes of the Storm is actually such a fun game to play.
Right, and with Morton's list now, they have sort of hovered over a couple of bans. It looks like they want to take out a warrior. They're hovering over Johanna, then they swapped to Tyrael, and now they're hovering over Arthas. Looks like they're discussing who they want to deal with. I'd say perhaps even the Tyrael, if Morton's list, if Nomia are going to run a similar comp.
Yep.
And the sanctification was just allowing them to just have too much presence in those team fights. Every time Morton's list wanted to turn around and fight back, it was just giving them way, way too much of an upper hand to just stand their ground.
And not to mention the sanctification would completely nullify the mosh pit attempt, right? So it's a smart draft, a smart banning selection from both teams, actually, because Arthas coming out as the retaliation is great. But, ooh, Vandy! We're going to see some D.Va, and this time it's going to be on Towers of Doom. Wow.
Here she is. I've waited, and my prayers have been answered tonight. There we go. There's the caster's blessing on our side, and Nazebo once again. Perhaps Vikarek picking him up as well. Vikarek doing really well in the Nazebo. He's exactly where he needs to be. He's completing his quest in a timely manner and landing all of those zombie walls. But it's going to be about getting that push as well. They don't want Nomia to get away with the push. They don't want Nomia to get away with the soak. They want to have a strong soak of their own, a strong solo laner of their own.
Yeah, they keep running back with this Nazebo, but we haven't seen the ability for it to reach the late game. And when it did, the stacks weren't there for it to actually really empower to that second level that it can really ascend to. But they're going to keep with it. They're going to keep running this Malfurion and Nazebo combination. It can work well, and ETC can definitely pair up and allow things to happen. But let's not forget the ability for them to then lock people in with the self-destruct from D.Va, especially around these elongated fights on the towers themselves. Could be some very scary moments for the side of Morton's list to actually present on the table. But there's a lot of synergy. There's a lot of coordination that they need to net, not as clear-cut and forward as what Nomia have. And what are the final two picks for them to go with?
Opting for the Tychus and the Dahaka. So Dahaka really complementing. So Dahaka's pick does two things. One, it complements the Anubarak, so he's not just a solo tank because he can be quite squishy and can be blown up quite easily, as well as two, enabling them to have that soak, to have that global pressure on lanes. And Nomia are quite good at really getting around with that.
It's interesting because word of mouth that I got from Rob was that he thinks Dahaka is extremely strong now on these smaller maps where he can actually utilize that increased mobility with the movement speed, going from one of the slowest heroes in the game to now, like we said, the Ferrari as a Prius. And Farstead is brought into the fold of things to really gel this comp together. They can then essentially dictate the fights on their terms. Let's not forget about the fact that it brings the global element to deal with the Dahaka, but if they don't like the all-in that can be presented by both the Greymane and Tychus, they can definitely gust away. So two different compositions. I'm extremely excited to see what Morton's list can bring with this one, because this is a lot more standard, a lot more safe, and sort of what we know Morton's list can do, and not having to resort to sort of more cheesy tactics like on Battlefield of Eternity, Vandy.
That's completely right. I like that Falstad. It answers directly to the Dahaka. They're almost like a pairing. You don't ban one without banning the other. You don't generally see one picked without the other being picked. They sort of go as a pair. Dahaka, the other team's going to go Falstad. They accomplish a similar role, except one's a bit of a bruiser and the other one's an assassin. And I love that pick because it also then gives them sustained damage on the side of Morton's, which they did not have on the previous map on Battlefield of Eternity.
Prepare
Well, here we go, guys. Round number 2 of the playoffs. Potentially the last game if Nomia take this one. They're currently 1-0 in this series, in this best of 3. This is them signing off as they head on over to DreamHack for the mid-season brawl. But let's introduce them once again. Arcana this time on Ufa, John on Greymane, Robodobo on Anubarak, Vanilla on Tahaka, and Fat94 is playing Tychus.
And on the right side, rocking the red, we've got Demise on Nazebo, Haki on Falstead, Moops on Malfurion, Vikarek on D.Va, and last but not least, Sashin on ETC. And we have gone into a little bit of a pause, even I think before a couple of talents were picked up. But interesting to note, Vikarek is not playing Nazebo. This time it's Demise.
Yeah, see, it's a change of guard once again. These players are cycling through these heroes like it's bread and it's butter. They just don't know who to put it back on. They're going to experiment until this works in their favor, but it is going to be the toe build once again, arguably the best build for this composition that they're facing. But it was looking so good, Vandy. We got through the day with literally no pauses. It had to be one. It wouldn't be ANZ without the old 3-2-3.
Well, this is the second one, but they've been relatively short. No worries, we're right back into it. And with this, we can see the rest of the talents starting to be picked up. Once again, Gilnean Cocktail being picked up by Greymane. I think he'll go a similar build. It was working quite well for him in Battlefield of Eternity. There's no reason why he shouldn't, especially with 2 tanks on the side of Morton's list.
Well, there we go. Robodobo's already got the game sense to realise that they're going to try and do some cheeky mechanics. They're going to try and go for that power slide and look for the early invade session. I mean, it's his blessing and its burden. He likes to get into the fold of things. He likes to try and find those opportunities, but it can pay the price, pay against him. Session still in the front of things, taking a lot of damage, but looking for that power slide. Already Nomia splitting on up. They realise what they need to do. Fat94 is ready in the bush. He's actually going to look for the gank attempt. I'm pretty sure Haki would have seen that when he flew on over, and he does scout things out there.
He's sus to it. He's watching out. And with Haki as well, he has picked up Gathering Storm, which means that he's going for that Mage Falstad kind of build, and he's looking to stack up Hammering as much as he can.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see how quickly Vanilla picks up this one, but here we go. Rob's going to be caught in a rock and a hard place. He does have the Burrow Charge available. He gets out. He does have the retreat fully. He's going to go for the well tap, it seems, so he's going to stick around for a little bit longer. But meanwhile, in the bot lane, pitiful old Luther is doing his best to try and wave clear and almost trying to look as if he's a D.Va cosplay.
I was watching the top lane as well, Battle of the Titans, Haki and Vanilla. As we said, you don't see one without the other. Ooh, cheeky grenade by Fat94 stalling the recall. Haki was actually winning the trade against Vanilla, causing him to actually drop out of lane for a little bit. He almost died up there as well, so definitely Haki. He's playing quite aggressively. He wants to dominate that lane.
Well, alters do spawn in 10 seconds. The first one with a triple cap at that. Teams on both sides actually in no position to go for the sapper camps to start things off. Arcana can... Well, he was looking for it, but the altars are now active, and this is really where it comes down to. Both globals utilising top left and top right corners, but the big focal point, the 4v4, if you will, around here in the mid lane. You'll just watch and wait for the globals to come on in. There goes the Burrow on the right-hand side. Extremely aggressive. Burrow charge is available, and it's going to go on in. Going to go 3-man knockup. Absolutely huge. No cleanse. No way to get out. Sashin, the first one to fall on down. First blood going towards Nomia. Vanilla still looking for more. They're going to go for Vikarek, but it is the double health bar. It's the old school Tychus Odin. And Vikarek will not pay the price.
Oh, Robodobo getting the cheeky cap there. So low, but they just couldn't quite finish it off. And alright, if we kind of break down the damage that went out, Robodobo was taking a lot of the damage coming out because it was the closest target for Morton's list. But was that viable? No, because it was leaving the damage dealers to do a lot in return to them. Fat94 did drop, but it wasn't enough. They need to focus that damage on earlier. It just shows how good Robodobo is at getting in their face, focusing the targets and making Morton's list feel threatened.
Yeah, it's so damn scary when you have an Anubarak run you in the face like that, because you just have no way to deal with it. You've got to really consider your life choices when it's got to that kind of decision in the world. But here we go, Rob with the Burrow Charge straight on in, but he gets countered upon straight away with the root, followed by the zombie wall as well, but it does not matter. Arcana is there, he's got support, and he has the healing. Sapper Camp was acquired by Nomia, looking to try and escort it on in, but the rotations are already coming on through from Morton's list to look to try and deal with this one. Vikarek actually going for the washing machine, if you will, spinning around, and he actually gets baited on down, switching into pilot mode, and Demise either will be laughing at that one or be tilted.
Well, that's actually the second time Vicarex done that. He's actually used his boosters to try and knock members of Nomia into the zombie wall. Instead, he's gotten caught in the zombie wall, and this is the second time he's had it happen. Not sure if he'll try again to do it.
Be ready.
Not Vandy. Second Alta phase has spawned in classic Nomia, right? They're nearly level 7. They've got that small XP lead. Pilot has been swapped into mech. Session has a beautiful angle on the left-hand side. Self-destruct. This is what they've been waiting for. Can they get the big sweaty power slide? Boom! The damage across so many key members. Ufa, the first one to fall. He is in that divine spirit. It's going to be enough to try and keep Fat 94 alive. No, the poison damage ticking on down. They're trying to still fight for this cap. Vanilla on the point. Session jumping on in. He's looking for the cap on towards John. Rob's coming in with a burrow charge just a little bit too late. One by one, systematic stuff here. Morton's list. That's what you want. And that is the combination between Mosh Pit, or sorry, not Mosh Pit, Power Slide, and Self-Destruct. D.Va, OP.
GG, well played, would be her motto. But that was what Vicarex had up his sleeve. That was the ace he was waiting to play. It did so much damage. Fan 94, really commendable. I know he took... Oh, I'm going to cut myself off because there's another fight going on, Skinny.
Yeah, no defense matrix was popped there by Vicarex. He has actually gone for the extended duration on that level 4 as well, and they're trying to get a sneaky cap. They've already picked up their one. Aggressive borrow from Vanilla as well. He's going to go for the grab attempt. No, he decides against it in the end, having second-guessed his decisions to collapse on that. But John, now with 3 other members of Nomia, hungry for the aggression on towards Session. Oh, John, so aggressive with this disengage. He just barrels on through. Doesn't even care about the zombies. He definitely likes to play Left 4 Dead, but he does stay alive and sticks in this battle.
He's not being left for dead. With the side of Morton's list, perhaps, I think what they could have done was to cap Nomia's point first, the point closer to the enemy side, and then they'd have the home ground advantage on their cap. I think it was a little bit of a wasted opportunity if they were really aiming to get both. But in saying that, they did win the team fight. They did get a cap. It's no harm done. I'm just thinking it could have been a little bit of a wasted opportunity there if that was the play they wanted to do.
Session with the invade with the game since to realise where are Nomia hiding, and the Sapper camp is the answer to that question. The rest of Morton's list are currently hanging around in mid lane, a little bit indecisive, trying to find the cap, or the catch I should really say, on the rotation. Power Slide coming out once again, looking for the combination between Roots and Zombie Wall. Does not eventuate this time around, but a little bit of a messy engage. Rob's going to come in now, and this is a retaliation from Nomia, saying this is how you team fight. Beautiful cleanse from Demise, making sure that not only the stun and the grab attempt cannot achieve any kind of value, and just like that, the disengage is achieved, and level 10 is really going to be the name of this one, Bandy.
Nomia definitely hard-pressed to get that level 10. Once again, they want to pick up their heroic abilities, they want to force a fight, but this time Morton's listed are in a much nicer position. They're only about half a bar, scratch that, with all the experience that Nomia just got by clearing out the waves. Nomia, they're always making sure that they clear every wave that they can, but that 94...
Fat 94 is caught out of position. He needs a heal. No, it doesn't even matter because Haki's got the rotations. Global pressure really is the name of this one. And Vanilla, already being in the fight, already in the skirmish, can't lend a hand. They find a beautiful kill so close to level 10. This could be Morton List getting a double cap, turning this one on its head. This could be quite nice for them.
That was the enable they needed. Fat 94 getting caught out of position there, just surrounded by all members of Morton's List, and they're pushing aggressively now with that Sapphire camp in the bottom lane.
Yeah, it seems to be the case. We don't even care. We know we can't rotate. We know we're not going to be able to actually contest this ult, so why not just push on top lane? Let's look at these ultimates. Cocoon has been picked up, Bandy. We are going to see the diving potential, and the fight is surely about to break on out. Drag attempt onto Vicarex. There goes the Cocoon. So much range, but the self-destruct is doing nothing. It's being popped so far in the back line. Nothing can be achieved. Mech mode is being popped again. There goes the bunny hop, because we're playing CSGO. We're playing some surf mode. Look at the damage across the board. So many people so damn low. John has no mana. Can he even hit a claw? He gets a stun. He gets a pop. And the gust, meant to try and prevent this, comes at the very last second. So unlucky.
Demise living to tell the tale as well with a well-timed zombie wall. Oh, that self-destruct. I really knew. That's kind of what he knew, D.Va. I know what Vicarex was trying to do. He knew that if he sort of blocked off Nomia's escape, if they tried to run that way, they'd be in trouble. But really, he didn't expect Nomia to do the opposite, to push the fight onto them. If he had put the ultimate of self-destruct there, he would have been in a much better situation. It was just reading, I guess, what Nomia were going to do completely wrong.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. They fought on top of that self-destruct. The turnaround with the mosh pit would have been absolutely devastating. We saw the mosh pits last game do so much work, but let's talk about this. Here's the gank attempt in the top lane, looking for Vanilla. He's going to get power slid on. Actually, no, he's just going to run past it, but a beautiful route there from Moops. 4 members on him. Can they collapse into Vanilla? Vanilla's just going to run away. He gets the grab as well. How cheeky can you be? So many resources invested to get that kill, and as a result, look what Nomia can do in the bot lane. They get the 4v1 dive, they get the bell tower, and they show Morton's List how it's done.
Right, Demise, literally as you were saying that, the same thing was happening to Demise in the bottom lane right there, except with the exception that they did get the kill. There was just so much CC. Vanilla maybe not lucky this time around.
Caster's curse. As soon as we talk about it, Vandy, it always seems to happen. And Vanilla goes, "You want me to run it down mid? Well, definitely. I'll do that right for you, chef." Coming right on up. There we go. Pushing on through mid lane. Nomia looking for a double bell tower, looking to really maximize these shots that they can get. But they know that Morton's List are in the rotation. They know they need to run away. And they know even despite level 13, that's not enough to make up this 4v5 team deficit.
Nomia did get the 5 shots in, and as you said, ooh, beautiful gust.
Yeah, Gust coming on out, but John gets the Divine Shield very early on, but it's beautiful. It's enough to get the thing, well, to get him out of harm's way, really, to quite honestly present it. Beautiful Burrow Charge coming in here to 3 targets, but this time Twilight Dream not really finding too much value, but the self-destruct is where it's all going to happen, and that's beautiful! Mosh Pit locking into Harker, no Burrow, no chance to survive. He didn't even have adaptation, if anything counted anyway. That is a nasty, sick combination between everything. That's allowed Morton's List to once again make it a 4v5.
Perfect team fighting coming out by Morton's List. These are the fights they want. It's given them some breathing room to take back their bell tower in the bottom lane. I can see now Nomia, they're trying to rotate every chance they get. They have broken down the front wall of these bell towers, and they're going to, if they do win a fight, they're going to just instantly collapse and take them down.
Oh, look at the curse bullet. Moops MVP there. He just predicted that was going to come on out. Ice block negates everything. Big cooldown traded on both sides, 60 seconds. But arguably, John, if anything, is actually laughing at that because this is up in 20 seconds. So, interesting decision there. To be honest, Moops probably would have died if he had been collapsed on. But this is Rob saying, we want to force the fight. We want to get some kills. Cocoon coming out once again onto support. Who can they dive? Who can they collapse upon? No mosh pit. 60 seconds on that one. Gust, very early on, used to disengage both the front liners, and this is going to be enough for Morton's List to get the turn now. Vandy Tigers is the one to fall. Vikrak in the front line using that defensive matrix, making sure that no damage can hit him or the rest of that back line. And this seems to be the common factor, right? The Morton's List get a kill after a kill, and it's always a 4v5.
The entangling root getting so much value in terms of blocking off Fat 94's escape. That was really well done by Moops. And it's that combo, once again, they're instantly, alright, whoever's getting Cocoon, which is generally Moops, they're bailing him out as soon as they get a chance. Moops is probably just saying, hey guys, save me. But Hacky now, he's the one that might need some saving.
Hacky definitely needed a bit of saving there. The follow-up wasn't allowed there because both the front liners on Morton's List had the peel, had the potential to get him out of harm's way. He is going to actually have the bar on out, and as he pops on out, Vanilla rocks on in. Ice block is being used once again very early on. The members of Morton's List completely separated, completely split. Hacky does fly on back on. Fat 94 has got the Odin. He's looking to try and pack a punch. So clumped on up. Vikrak looking to use that self-destruct. He doesn't have it available just yet. He's just popped up now. Bunny Hop coming on through. Burrow has been used by Tahaki. Does he have any more survivability left in the bank? He doesn't. Look at the self-destruct. It does buy the zoning potential. It does get them out of the harm's way. But Vandy, I don't even know what's going on anymore.
Vikrak doing the little boop as well to shove Robodoba. He's like, and off with you now? I don't need you anymore. That's the swag I love to see coming out of D.Va, and it's really working in their favor. They're winning the brawls quite successfully. Even taking down Boss, no bell towers lost. They can get this objective to Sapper Camp and really start to push down on a bell tower.
Well, trading in the bot lane for the top lane. Sappers have been picked up by Morton's List too. It's a very close game, ladies and gentlemen. 17 shots to 16 on this core. This is a much cleaner and closer game for Morton's List than we saw in game number 1 on Battlefield of Eternity. Moops has the vision. He realizes that was surely the go-to route. He's used there, if anything, to say, Rob, hey, I could actually hit some CC. But damn, this is a close one, Vandy. They do get the trade in the bot lane. John did work taking out that bell tower. Is going to give them 5 shots compared to the 3 that could be acquired otherwise. But that is 6 sappers. Surely a fight is going to break out with the level 16 advantage. Rob has got that in his sights. Ice block is used. Curse bullet as well. They want to escort this in, Vandy.
They do. That 6 sappers, as you said, is high value, high priority cargo. If they can cross the line, that's an extra shot. And each chance they do, look at this. Vanilla in the top lane, putting down even more pressure on that top bell tower.
Yeah, he's just pushing on through, making sure that they can find some value. Trying to force the rotate on down. And this is something that we always talk about with globals. It's a case of how well can you bait the global to be used. And a team like Nomia is not going to fall for a fake baited engage by the likes of Morton's list, but they're looking for that sick, sweaty combo between the mosh pit, between the self-destruct. Session, you can see he was hunting for it, but Nomia, realizing that, respecting it, aren't going to let that happen.
Hacky looking to get the flight in with the team fight breaking out now.
Bunny hop is used so early on, Gus coming out, splitting the rest of the members out there, but mosh pit is instantly interrupted. Twilight Dream is beautiful, stopping Anubrak from getting on out. Rob is gone from the fight. Big Divine Shield onto John. Who can he pick? Can he get Session? He's so low, down to 50 health. He's going to get popped. And it's suddenly Nomia just getting taken on down for free. Vandy, 2 members crucially taken on out. Vikrak is just so beefy, so frustrating to try and deal with. He is living. This is Morton's list turning up another gear.
They really are. I was worried for Vikrak because he did not have self-destruct ready when he got popped the first time. But with enough shots in pilot mode, he was instantly able to call down another mech and get that self-destructive zone. That's what D.Va's potential is. That's where she can fit a niche that didn't really exist beforehand.
That 94 caught in the wrong place at the wrong time. No cleanse, no way to get out of this one, and that's going to cause another member of Nomia to fall on down here. Vanilla potentially the next one to fall on down. He does get a hill. Ooh, a big burrow charge, but it's not going to be enough, Vandy. 4 members have dropped in this sustained skirmish, a very long fight. Rob has just rocked on up, but these are staggered death timers, and this really hurts Nomia's chances of mounting any kind of comeback. 7 shots were lost in that entire trade.
That staggered death is really going to put back Nomia, as you said, the pressure that they can then answer with the clearing now coming out from Morton's list. They can easily recap their bell tower. They've got a lot of pressure. They captured a bell tower of their own as well. They're just cleaning out the lanes now, making sure that Nomia aren't going to get another wave that then takes up all precious bell tower at this point.
A big talking point about that last fight was the fact that Twilight Dream absolutely crushes both Greymane and Anubrak. You saw when it came off, those heroes were essentially null and void, and without the cocoon being on that hero, Moops is having an absolute field day, really the MVP, and making sure that their team wins these fights, so they can stick at it. They've got a big potential of actually mounting a comeback, making this best of 3 series a 1-1 draw. But look at that, straight away the engage coming on out. Session looking to try and get out of harm's way. Curse Blood just chunking 40% of his life total. So frustrating to deal with. And Odin has been popped very defensively here, just to respond to the bell tower, not the best use of that ultimate.
Bunny Hop now on a cooldown. We do see Hacky doing exactly what Vanilla was doing before, pushing out a lane. It looks like he'll rejoin his team if he senses a fight about to break, but really it's about staggering by holding this bell tower. It's just wasting Nomia's time.
Oh, Hacky coming on in here, looking for that gust attempt. Is it going to come on through to self-destruct? It's so defensive, putting them into such an awkward situation. Rob, he has no burrow charge. He has no way of getting on out. He had 3 seconds left on it. The changes, the patch has literally made him die, to be quite frank here, Vanilla. Oh, he actually tracks him in, but the mech at the very last second. Beautiful stuff here. Nomia are absolutely getting outplayed. Morton's list are playing out of their mind.
Oh! D.Va in the kill zone? No worries. Call mech. Save the day. Just loving what D.Va can bring. Just loving how Vikrak is playing her in conjunction with Sashin.
Wow.
Gust is out.
Being called. That's it.
Oh, perfect! That was insane! Morton's list stepped it up.
Oh, Moops with the cheeky toxic comment at the very end there, getting a little bit cocky there. Whoa, fighting spirit. But Vandy, we are 1 apiece now. We're not going to close out playoffs number 1 with a quick succession. We're not going to let Nomia just go with a clean 2-0 ace like we've seen him do in season 1 and 2 so far this year. This is Morton's list saying, let's go back to what we can play. Let's not try and deploy cheese tactics. Let's win on our terms. And that wasn't a fluke. That was a convincing win.
Definitely. Once they started getting their combination off, once Vikrak knew when to send the self-destruct behind to block off Nomia's exit instead of into the fight, into the mosh pit, like that was some great communication going out. And I told you, D.Va can do some really, really good things. She's just quite an interesting hero. I'm really glad they added her to the game. And some crazy plays going out. it's just wonderful to see. And that Falstad pick, very, very good for them as well. The Gus doing so much work.
Well, it comes to that time once again, Vandy. We've got to discuss MVPs for that game. John having an absolute field day on his side, but it wasn't enough to secure the win for Nomia. They don't get the dream. They don't get the clean ace. We flick it over. And I'm looking at one here, and I'm sure you're thinking the same. Vicarak, D.Va. It was a little bit shaky at the start, but once he got the hang of things, the self-destruct, the synergy between all the CC that they had really just played into its own.
Yep, exactly right. And once again, Moops for enabling, for getting them in such situations. It was a combination of the setup from Moops and Sashin, as well as Hacky. And then all of it just came so well. Demise as well, laying down, like everyone played such a great part. And yep, I have to give it to my favorite hero. And Vicarak playing D.Va very, very convincingly. So congratulations, Vicarak.
Congratulations indeed for picking up the MVP of game number 2 of this best of 3. But that does it for the meantime. 1 apiece in this best of 3 series. Don't go anywhere, guys. We still have the gauntlet, the final game of the night coming up right after this. So stay tuned and stay dialed.